Okay, all right. So I'm restarting the stream right now. If you're just joining me, yes, this is you're reading the title correctly. This is the first stream that I am first live stream that I'm doing since I've been monetized. So welcome if you are just joining me right now, or if you're watching on the replay right now. And since then, so like I just said, a couple things have happened. Number one, this channel got monetized, which is awesome. So that was one of my main goals, and now I get to move on to the next phase of my channel. And one of the other things was that I actually created a channel intro, which I'm about to play for the very first time. So yeah, so I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit play, and then after that, we will resume the stream. So stay tuned. Okay, cool. So now that we got that out of the way, that was pretty awesome. Again, shout out to Michael Yoon. He's actually the creator of that song that he's allowing me to use for this channel. So yeah, again, welcome to the AMBW channel. We are officially monetized, which means this channel is officially legit now. We're technically legit, and so if you're just tuning in right now, I hope that you're having a very nice day. Today it feels like a weekend, doesn't it? But not quite there yet, but in a few more hours it will be. But yeah, hope you're having a good day. Hope you have a lot of good plans for this weekend. And yeah, so I know I've been away for a minute, but I wanted to talk about a few things, sort of the future of this channel, and also a couple of films that I actually saw recently but have not reviewed. So I wanted to review those films as well. So first things first is I wanted to address a short film that I've been working on for a little bit now, for a little over a month or so, and and I'm trying to, I'm just about there. I would say give me a couple more weeks or so with it, and I will be uploading that to the channel. But I also wanted to say that we've, unfortunately, with that film, I've hit yet another sort of snag. It's sort of personal / professional, whatever. I don't want to go into it too much. Basically, yeah, it sort of threatens to derail the film. However, I have an idea of how to finish my movie, and so basically, long story short, is that I don't have the actors anymore that I needed to complete the film with. So unfortunately, they will not be a part of the remaining scenes. But I will still be using all the footage. I'm still editing the film together, and I will be using other actors and sort of in kind of like a table read session to basically finish out to complete those scenes. So there's that. So the movie will get done. It will get done. The remaining scenes will be done with different actors, but the rest of the film will be will be finished using completed footage already. So there's that. So yeah. Anyway, and like I said, I can't wait to upload that movie. I can't wait to show it to you guys. So it'll be a good time. It'll be fun. Okay. So yeah. So the next bit of news is that I wanted to review a couple of short films. Not short films. Sorry. I wanted to review a couple of films really quickly. One of them I'm actually supposed to review on another channel tomorrow. But I don't know when he's going to post that video. So I'm just going to do my quick review of it, and then when after I've done the review with him, then he posts it, then I will post a link to his channel so y'all can watch that. So anyway, so yeah, the couple of films that I've seen recently are Candyman and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. First one, I don't remember who it was released from. But wait, hang on. We have a visitor. We have a visitor. Yes. Hang on now. Hang on. Let's see here. Um, there you go. I'm posting the link right there. I'm posting the link right there. Nerdman, I don't know if you can see, but I posted the link right there. And yeah. So anyway, yeah. So hopefully he sees that. But yeah. So I saw a couple of films recently. Saw Candyman and Shang Chi. They were both really good. Both really good. And since sort of uh, you know, Candyman, definitely sort of speaks on the sort of like relevant issues and themes, especially with like police brutality and stuff like that. That more I guess like more especially in the context of the film affects the black community. That it adds extra sort of layer of depth and dimension to this film, which already sort of is on the heels of like its predecessor, which is like one of the greatest horror movies ever made. In the original Candyman from 1992, I forgot who directed that, but Nia DaCosta directed this one, and this movie it's kind of hard to describe. It's not a remake. It's kind of like a reboot slash sequel, so like requel, I guess, if you can call it that or whatever. I don't know. By the way, Nerdman, if you're still watching, I put the link in there. But yeah. But yeah. So where was I? Yeah. So Candyman. Um, yeah, Candyman is a good movie. It's a really good movie. It's not. I want to say that like it was really well shot. It was well acted. It's a really good looking film. It's really well directed. Really well directed. Nia DaCosta is a very good. She did a great job. Okay, hang on now, and hang on. There's Nerdman. Hey, what's up, man?
Yo, man, what's going on?
I'd like to introduce y'all to Hot Take Tuesday, aka the Nerdman. This is his first time on the channel, and I'm not sure how many people are watching, but if you're watching on the replay, y'all should check out his channel too. He has a
Mm.
lot of, well, obviously, like his title suggests, he has a lot of hot takes on a lot of, pop culture, like current events and stuff like that. So check out his channel. But what are you doing?
Oh, I just came on to say hello, bro. Like, seeing you streaming, and I was like, oh shit, my boy
Well,
AMBW is streaming.
absolutely, and I
See
know
what
that
you
you
have to
have a
say about Shang-Chi.
Absolutely. Well, Nerman, thank you very much. And I know that you have a stream coming up pretty soon, so I will be checking that out too.
Yep,
But I also want to say, as far as Shang-Chi goes, and I know that's what your stream is about, but I
yep.
want to say that I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of this film.
Oh,
I
I'm glad you
honestly,
did.
yeah, going into it, I'll be honest, I didn't have high expectations.
Hmm.
I really didn't because I was let down a lot by Black Widow. Black Widow for me,
Really?
I
You
only be
didn't like
honest,
Black
yeah,
Widow? Wow.
no, and I think part of that was because I had higher expectations going into that one. Because
Mhm.
obviously that movie, even though it was obviously it was like pushed back a year because of the pandemic, we still that was like the culmination of like a decade of spending time with this character and getting to know her, you know what I mean, through other movies. And so
Mhm.
from like reading everyone's reviews, everyone, all the critics and everyone who got to see the film early, I just say I was definitely hyped up. I mean, I saw Paul's I know Paul got to see it earlier, so I watched his review, and obviously he really liked it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I really liked it. I really liked it as well. I mean, I think the only, I mean, a couple of issues, and I'm gonna bring it up on my stream, is like just the problem of I don't know that they're superhero movies.
mm,
Like Shang-Chi may be a little bit more, but like Black Widow is just a good spy thriller. Do you know what I
hmm
mean? To me,
yeah,
right? And then Shang-Chi, I like the martial arts in the movie, but some of it is a bit like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's just another guy who's got super agility and or not super agility. Is very agile, is fast, can fight. Like, it's a lot of Marvel characters are like that. They fit that kind of type, and I'm just kind of bored of seeing that as the as the go-to for all the characters. I mean, I know Spider-Man and Captain America obviously have to be that, but a lot of the characters are like that.
hmm
So it's to me, I'm just like, is this really a superhero movie, or is this just like an action movie, basically? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely, I do, and I feel like that's a really valid point, because especially, I feel like I also I've sort of been thinking this for like over a decade now, ever since the original Iron Man came out in 2008. So it's been well over 13 years now. Um, but I've thought about this too. It's like, I'm sure that you'll probably agree with me. I don't know, maybe you will, but in their solo films, in each of these solo films, none of these characters are really quote unquote saving the world, right? Like they're not really doing a
Right,
whole lot of like superheroing or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they're
right,
Iron Man's conflicts. All his solo films deal with someone trying to kill him, someone who has a grudge against him. You know what I mean?
hmm,
And I feel like, okay, like there have been exceptions like Black Panther. You know what I mean? Or even maybe like my God, maybe like a couple of or like the second or first Captain America movies or whatever, where like the conflict is a little bit more like widespread. It affects everybody, not just them. But I just feel like
yeah.
the
The second
only
Captain America movie, definitely,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. And the first and third one don't really. I don't know, the first one kind of, third one not
Well,
really.
that was what annoyed me about Thor. I mean, it was like all about Asgard and saving this mystical realm. It was like really like the Earth wasn't, or anyone like on Earth wasn't even really in peril. Like it's just,
Yeah,
it didn't seem very, and the stakes on Asgard about the destruction of Asgard really like one, do I care about it, and then two, it didn't even really feel like even they were in trouble. Really,
no,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Exactly, and that's
Um,
why I hate Ant Man and the Wasp, because that movie shouldn't even be a movie. It should have been a series. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that whole movie was just to set up Endgame. That's literally what it
Mm,
was. And I feel
mm.
like, again, like I actually like the first Ant Man. The first Ant Man I thought was a lot better than the second one, but it was just like, yeah, just in general. But you know what? Again, I don't want to get into too much to it, because I know that conversation can go on for a long time. But like, let's compare MCU versus DCEU. DCEU, everyone craps all over it, everyone all that stuff. But when you get down to it, those superheroes, they save the world. They are
Right,
saving the world every single
right.
time. You know what I
Man of
mean?
Steel, Superman saving the world. Like it's
Exactly,
true.
exactly. And then BBS when Doomsday was.
Wonder Woman saving the world. Right.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and maybe to an extent, Shazam probably not as much, but I mean, it could be argued that if they weren't there, then it would have gotten worse.
So, but he was saving at least a little.
Yeah,
He
exactly,
was saving people, like basically
exactly,
from what he was about to do. And yeah, like if he took over, like got the champion's powers, like he would have been like a complete tyrant.
exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
so
Exactly. And then the same thing for Aquaman, and also, even though it's much maligned, like Wonder Woman 84. I mean, that
she
would have like
was
just
saving the world. That's
exactly.
true.
So it's just like, I think my gripes with DCEU is that they don't have a plan. They don't know
Yeah.
where they're going. Like the MCU, you can love it or hate it, but you can't deny that they have a plan. You know what I mean? That they're organized, and that, you know what I mean? Like the next event, who knows when that's going to be, but we know it's coming. I mean, we know they're building up to it.
I wish there was a company with the management of MCU, but the film, like the difference in flavor. Like I'm not saying I like every DCU movie, but like at least I don't know what I'm gonna like get. Like I'm not just going in there like I know I'm gonna get a little bit of comedy with this one. I'm gonna get like this like a quippy character. And I'm gonna get some characters agile and can run for that, or like sorry, agile, maybe has a little bit of enhanced, like an enhanced human being, essentially. With a villain who has some sympathy story. Having said that, I really like the villain in this movie, Shang-Chi. That was one of the standouts to me because unlike other people's tragic backstory that is just like tacked on at the end and didn't really inform
Mhm.
who they were throughout the movie, this one, it informs every aspect of who he is. This is a sympathetic villain done well, or at least, I mean, it's not amazing, but like in comparison to the MCU's track record of villains that have a sympathetic backstory, I actually felt a little bit for this guy and what was going on with him and why he was doing what he was doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And everyone, if you're just joining us right now for the first time, I have an unexpected special guest with me, Nerdman, Hot Takes Tuesdays. Check out his channel, sub to his channel. A lot of great content there. But yeah, so So as far as what you're saying there, man, I definitely agree. Like I said, I enjoyed this film a lot more than I thought I would, and I'm definitely going to check it out again. I don't know how soon, but I'll check it out again. But I definitely
I'm
agree
really,
with you. Like the Mandarin. Well, first of all, let's sort of just it's
yeah,
spoiler
go on,
alert,
go on, go
guys.
on.
So yeah, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to talk about spoilers. So if you don't want to know, turn away right now. But I like how they literally do away with his name, the Mandarin. Like they in that whole like dinner scene that they're having with his family and Aquafina's there, and he's talking about how America needed a boogeyman. So they basically sort of just like tarnished his name and called him the Mandarin or whatever, even though it's not his name. Um, and I felt like like it's kind of interesting here, man, because like I know that correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a fan of the original Iron Man, yes?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think, well, I like it. I
Yeah.
don't know. I've watched it as many times as some superhero movies,
So
like Batman Begins and stuff like that.
right, yeah,
But
exactly.
it's not. Yeah, but I like it. I like it. It's a fun movie. If it's
Yeah,
ever on and I've got nothing to do, I'll just watch it.
exactly. But I had an interesting time thinking about this after I saw the movie, and I was like, you know what? Like, technically, that's also the Ten Rings, or I guess that's the real Ten Rings, or whatever, according to Kevin Feige. Like, that's sort of the link between this and that film. But like, I was thinking, it's like, dude, like we see a totally different side of his organization, of this guy, the so-called Mandarin. You know what I mean? Like, he
Yeah.
didn't even seem like you were saying. He didn't even seem. You know what I mean? He was a completely different character. Like, I loved his character. He didn't even seem to me to be all that bad. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm,
guy was just at the end, he was just trying to get his wife. And then even
yeah.
then, you could argue that he wasn't the real quote unquote villain of the story,
Yeah.
right? Because we find that he's being manipulated by some evil spirit or whatever.
Yeah, right, exactly, exactly, and that kind of tension there, because I thought they were gonna like twist it where like he wasn't really after his wife, he was after like some powerful thing behind the demon door or whatever,
Yeah.
or the door to another realm, which kind of pissed me off because actually I'd written a similar thing.
Yeah.
I've written a script but it doesn't matter. I wrote a script basically where like there's a doom's doorway or whatever. But anyway, I thought maybe they were going to try and switch it up and he was actually after something else. But it turns out like no, that was really it. Like he really loved his wife, and that drove all of his actions and built his character. Uh, so yeah, I like the fact that they kept that to the end. And didn't try and switch it up. That he was just trying to do something else
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
it made him more much like you did get his motivation, right? Like,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Again, guys, we are talking spoilers for Shang-Chi, which is out right now in theaters. So if you haven't seen it, you don't want to know, don't turn away or mute it or whatever. Do whatever you got to do. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, like I said, man, I know I'm not I know you got to start soon, so I'm not going to keep you on for like for that long. But I do want to talk a couple more minutes about this movie because
yeah,
I
yeah,
just can't
yeah,
get out of
okay,
my
go
head.
for it.
Like I think this is, and again, spoiler it, guys. So, but when Wu dies in this movie, and I really wasn't expecting that. I thought, like, especially considering who he is in the comics, he is one of the bigger bads of the Marvel universe. And so when he died, like, I haven't felt this way that many times. Like a Marvel villain has died. I think maybe the only other time was like when Killmonger, died or whatever in Black Panther, even though he's most likely coming back. But when he died, and when this guy died, I was actually kind of sad. Like I genuinely, I was like, dude, like I mean, again, like first of all, I was not expecting for him to pass in this movie, but he sort of kind of redeems himself, and he has that moment where he looks at his son and he passes him the 10 rings. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like okay, like he's kind of accepting the moment. Yeah, I this is my bad. I fucked up, but you know what I mean. At the same time, he's like I don't know. I mean, it was just a very moving performance from the actor. I forget his name, Tony Leung, and I'm glad that they got him for this movie. I was hoping that he wouldn't. You know. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Everyone watching. Yeah. So, again, if you're watching, we are talking about Shang Chi, which is out in theaters right now. So I guess until my guest gets back or whatever, I will turn my attention to the rest of you right now. Again, if you're watching this stream, just joining us for the first time, please like, subscribe, comment. I really appreciate it. This channel has been monetized. We just recently got monetized a few days ago, so we are now technically, I guess, legit or whatever. But yeah, so I appreciate that. And then also Nerdman, he's definitely a friend of the channel. Check out his stream as well. He actually is starting a stream in 6:45, so I'm actually going to get off around that same time too. I've got other stuff to do too, but I will also tune into that too. So also tune into his stream too. He's doing it in a 6:45 PST. Um, but yeah, so until he gets back, I'm going to talk to you guys. So just in general, I think Shang-Chi was one of the better MCU films. I really enjoyed it a lot. Like I said before, I'm going to go check it out again. Don't download it. Don't torrent it. Please pay for it. Please support it with your real hard-earned money, because I believe that this movie deserves it. I believe this movie should do well. I want it to do well. It is definitely a very positive representation of Asian culture, and I think it also speaks to a lot of Asian Americans as well. And you know what? You don't even have to be Asian or Asian American to enjoy this movie. Everybody can enjoy this movie. This movie is for everyone. So if you like good entertainment, it has some really good, choreography, a lot of good action, a lot of good martial arts fighting scenes. There's some humor. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of family drama. You know what I mean? There's a lot of moving emotional parts to it. It's just in general, it's just this film works on so many levels, and I can't wait for everyone, if you haven't checked it out, to see it, because it's a good one. It's, in my opinion, it's one of the better Marvel movies to come out in a long time. So yeah, and I know that I was also talking. Oh, hang on, yeah, okay, so yeah, so Nerdman will be back in a bit, but so like in terms of so getting back to the other film that I was also reviewing, Candyman. Um, which I guess, sort of, this being the AMBW channel, Asian and Black, we definitely, I would like to talk about that too, because that is sort of, that's a very interesting story too. That movie is very interesting. First of all, I'm going to say, if you don't like blood and guts and all that stuff, that movie is not for you. Because it is a very bloody, gory movie. So if that's not your thing, horror's not your thing, then, you might not want to see it. But I do like how Candyman adds an extra layer of depth to it, in that it sort of, it comes full circle. It definitely integrates a lot of, like I said before, real world issues, like, police brutality, and, concepts of, BLM, and just, well, yeah, not just BLM, but like, just everything that has been happening for decades, and, going back centuries. It's just, you know what I mean? The injustices against Black people. It definitely, I mean, even the original Candyman touched on that too, you see. And I did appreciate how the film, integrated that into its premise. Um, so, but yeah, so yeah, so it's a good movie. Both are good movies. Shang-Chi and Legend of Ten Rings and Candyman. Both are out in theaters right now. So I hope you guys get a chance to check it out. Both are really good, but they're very different films. Obviously, one's a horror movie, one is not a horror movie, one's a superhero movie. So go check them both out. They're both really good. They're both definitely deserving of your money. I will say this: these two are like the two of the better movies that I've seen this year. And granted, I haven't seen a ton of movies this year because of Bud Light or whatever, but yeah, they're entertaining. They're entertaining, and they speak to, while they might, I guess, at first, initially on the surface, speak to different audiences, I feel like they are for everyone. I feel like anyone can enjoy this film, and yeah, just take the time to enjoy it. I mean, it's entertainment. You know what I mean? And it's sort of, both films are very well made. I would definitely say that they're both really well made. Nia DaCosta. It's actually kind of funny because Nia DaCosta, who directed Candyman, is actually directing a Marvel movie herself. She's directing Captain Marvel 2, which is scheduled to come out, I think, later next year. So yeah, it'll be a minute before it comes out, but yeah, so hopefully that'll be good. I'm looking forward to it more than I was the first one. I was not a fan of the first Captain Marvel. If any of you guys watching this have seen that movie is not very good in my opinion. But with a director like Nia DaCosta helming the second one, hopefully things will be a little bit better. So yeah, so we'll see. Wait for that. I don't know where Nerdman went, but yeah. So anyway, guys, I also want to take this time really quickly to thank all of you for your support, for supporting the channel and everything like that. it's not easy trying to do this thing, especially all by myself. But I really do want to thank everyone for watching. If you're watching right now, or watching the replay or live or whatever, I really do want to thank you. And I hope and I ask that you continue support by watching not just the live streams, but also the short films. Everything that I upload, especially the short films, because I'm gonna be uploading, short films from now on. Yeah, so that'll be happening in the next few weeks or so. So check all that stuff out. More new content is coming down the line, and yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see it. Oh, cool, cool. All right, man. Never man is back, guys. So,
Sorry,
uh,
bro.
oh no, it's cool, man. All good, all good. Like I said, yeah, I
Flat
know that.
Earth. It's
Oh no, yeah, no,
go
it's
go
cool,
go
man.
go.
Yeah, no, I know that you got your stream coming up in a bit, but I want to say, yeah, just in general, what was I saying? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I want to get your opinion also. And I know I was
Hmm.
watching your ranking with Alex Green Lantern,
Hmm.
you guys were it was like a 7 hour epic stream. It's probably like epic stream, but it's like 7 hours, which is crazy to say that 7 hours. But it was
Yeah.
awesome. But I did watch it, and I remember you ranking Black Panther. And I
Hmm.
remember one thing. I don't remember everything, but I remember that you said that you felt like Black Panther felt like a non-character, right, or non-entity or non-character in his own movie. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I did.
yeah,
I mean, I still think it's one of the better MCU
yeah, it
movies,
is.
honestly. But yes, that was part of my problem with it. And then part of it was like, I felt like the politics was just, it was interestingly woven in, but I think it could have been done so much better. I'm glad that the MCU even went there.
Hmm.
Like I was so shocked that it even went there, but like nonetheless, it's still it felt a little bit like they're not really interestingly or in a nuanced way tackling these kind of issues. But fair enough, it went there, and I'll give it that, and it had substance. So that's why I ranked it pretty high. If you noticed, like for the MCU movies, I
Yeah,
think in the
yeah,
top 10.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah. So what was your question? I'm curious.
but yeah, no. So my question was, like I said, just just like bringing up that comment about T'Challa in his own movie. I would say that I have the same problem with Shang Chi in this movie.
Yeah.
And I want to say that, and before I know that I've talked to a lot of people, a couple people already, and they brought this up that Shang-Chi, of course, he had that big CGI fight at the end with his dad, and then he was fighting that demon and dragon and everything like that. But I also want to say that it's just from me watching it, I know he did those things. Okay, I know I was in the theater, I was watching it, I saw the movie, but I do want to say to all these people and to everyone watching that Shang-Chi is probably not one of the more interesting characters in this movie. He's just not. And I will say
No.
this: number one, there's Aquafina, there's his dad, there's his sister, there's even the guy from Iron Man 3, the fake Mandarin. There's this little CGI creature that doesn't show its face for some reason. And then you have literally everyone else in the movie who steals the rest of the movie anytime they're on screen. And I don't know, like, Nerman, do you feel the same way?
Uh, you know, I thought he had enough. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really, really hard to say. I'm gonna have to watch it again, but like, I wouldn't say this. I'll say Aquafina stole the movie a lot. Like maybe the
Yeah.
sister was a little bit more interesting. I this is again another one of the problems with the MCU is like usually the superheroes, like for instance, say like Shazam, right? The little boy is probably one of the less interesting characters, like in Shazam, right? He's
All right.
like, he's a little bit dark, jaded, and whatever. Um, but the thing is, you really get a beat very, very on what the impulse or what the drive for him being a superhero is. Not the drive for him being a person, but the drive for him, what his journey is to becoming a superhero.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot that holds a lot of weight because, like, say, The Dark Knight, Batman isn't the most interesting character in The Dark Knight, right?
No.
Like by a long shot. Bruce Wayne Batman take a back seat, but you still have that core thing of why Batman is doing what he's doing. Batman's doing like what the Shazam's doing what he's doing for family. Wonder
Yeah.
Woman's doing what she's doing because she always pursues peace. Like that's her like mission on Earth. Shazam, oh sorry, Batman. It's because he's fighting for the soul of Gotham, right?
Mhm.
That does a lot to making you feel like the character is bigger than life, like the themes and the whatever the issues that they're trying to tackle are something relatable to us, and there's something meaningful within the lexicon of superheroes. Like that's it's established why they are that. Shang-Chi, I feel it's a little bit weak or generic why he's doing this, right?
Mhm.
What makes him a superhero? It's not something different, unique. It's not a big overarching theme. Um, so that's why, even though it's fine for a superhero not to be the most compelling character in his own movie, I mean, it's almost like part of the archetype of being a superhero. The villain's going to be cooler. Some of your side characters are going to be a little bit more
Yeah.
spunky, or have a little bit more of a personality. But in general, what keeps you grounded with certain superheroes is like, do they have a big overarching theme? Like, to give the MCU some credit, like Captain America, such as patriotism, right? That's the big overarching theme that allows him to stand out amongst superheroes, as that's what drives him, as a bigger theme of a superhero. Shang-Chi, again, I'll have to watch it again. I don't think he was like totally, he had some charisma and I rooted
Yeah.
for him in the beginning, but it just meandered every time to me that it wasn't a martial arts,
Mhm.
spectacular, or it wasn't, the villain kind of talking. Even Aquafina, I don't think it was her fault. But when they were doing those little bits in between where they're trying to build character or they're trying to build a story, I didn't buy it. You know,
Mhm.
at first I really, because I was really trying to root for the film, I was really trying to root for the characters. At first, I thought, hey, maybe what they're doing is they're aping the or copying or doing a homage, pardon me, to the martial arts movies. And some of them, the dialogue's a little bit weaker. There's like, do you know what I mean? Like, even in the old ones where they used to dub over like the Chinese with like the English voice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just the story didn't really matter. It was more about let's get to the martial arts scenes, but it was done in such a fun way that it was kind of charming that there was no story, or that the story was a little bit weaker. This one, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel the charm in the fact that the story wasn't that good, or not the story wasn't that good, but the story and the dialogue weren't being delivered at the level at which I expect of like certain MCU movies. That's my biggest problem with it. I think it meandered and got a little bit boring, and in places where it wasn't like them fight. But uh, I want you to respond to that, and then I'm going to tell you what I thought of it, like overall in
Yeah.
terms of the MCU movies, because I don't want to shit on this, because there's a lot of good here.
Yeah, no, and honestly, man, what stops me from saying that it's a perfect film is a lot of the reasons that you just described. I feel like a lot of the problems with this film, there, in my opinion, there weren't like a ton, but a lot of the problems revolved around the script and how sort of, again, like I said, we sort of said this with other Marvel movies, like the conflict. It was just, I mean, it's by now, it's like the MCU has become very formulaic and very routine. You know what I mean? And a lot of these superhero origin films, especially the origin films themselves, like they don't really they revolve around setting up the character and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And sort of their internal personal conflict. Um, for me, I would say my biggest problems revolve around the fact that, and you sort of brought this up too, and a lot of people brought this up, is that all the best bits are given to other people. And I feel like a lot of the physical prowess and like fighting scenes were given to Simu Liu, who plays Shang Chi. Like for me personally, I love the fighting scenes in this. I mean, I kind of disagree with most reviewers saying that the fighting is some of the best fighting they've ever seen in a movie ever. I don't think so, but I've thought like everyone keeps talking about the bus scene, but I personally like the whole building bamboo fight. Like that fight for me is probably the best fight in the movie. And I also do want to preface this by saying that I felt you're right, Norman. I felt
which one was the best part?
the best fight was when they're on the side of the building, and then Aquafina, she's hanging onto the bamboo, and she almost falls off, and then they're fighting, and they're trying to get a hold of his pendant and stuff like that. So you know what I
Oh
mean?
right,
Like
yeah.
that fight, it was very similar to Rush Hour 2. I think that's actually where it draws a lot of the inspiration from,
Mm.
from those old Jackie Chan movies. But I do want to say that while I was impressed with the fighting, I do want to preface this by saying everyone watching at home, a lot of it, in my opinion, is hype. It's a lot of these Marvel movies in general are hype, but especially in my opinion, when people say oh go for the fighting. The fighting is magnificent. It's the best fighting in a Marvel movie ever. Um, Maybe I don't really
That's
know.
not
That's saying a whole
difficult
lot.
though. No,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. That's
I mean, have there been other kung fu movies or anything like
like
that? I don't know.
yeah, like the kung fu movies are way better,
Yeah,
way better.
exactly.
Like if you were just to, this is what I'm saying. Like whenever I'm like, someone's telling me like, oh, the Marvel has done it again. The Marvel has done it again. Like they're so hyperbolic with it, and they're always like, oh, they made a spy thriller this time, and I'm like, what spy thriller? Captain America Civil War? Sorry, Captain America Winter Soldier? You mean
Yeah,
that's a spy thriller to you? All right,
exactly.
let's do this then. Marvel has done it again. Let's compare Captain America Winter Soldier to other spy thrillers.
Yes.
Let's just do that. Do it to the Bourne movies. Do it to, like certain other, like franchises where are spy movies. It doesn't compare. It's not as good, right? And then
Yes.
you do this, and Captain America Winter Soldier, to be fair, pretty good amongst the MCU. I'd say probably the best, like at least in the top two, right? Then you compare it to something like Ant-Man. They've done it again. The heist movie. This time they've gone into the heist genre. Really? They've gone
Exactly.
into the heist genre? All right, let's compare Ant-Man to the rest of the heist movies that have ever come out because it's going to be pretty damn fucking low. Right, like so. To me, again, like as a martial arts movie, this doesn't even hit the map. Like it really
No.
doesn't.
No. I
In
mean,
comparison to
maybe.
other martial arts. But it's you'll see what I think of it. I know you think I hate it because
No, 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 no,
I
no. I
walked
was
out
no,
before the
I
end.
was just giving you a hard time, man. I was just giving you a hard time. I know how you feel about Marvel movies, but I appreciate your takes. Honestly, in my opinion, man, and I know that you probably have to go really soon, but I do want to say
Yeah,
first of all, thank you for joining, everybody. Again, this is
yeah,
Nerd Man. He has his own channel. He's doing his stream in a bit, so hop over there. I'll be wrapping mine up in a bit, but I also want to say that yes, I agree
yeah,
with
man.
Nerd
You're
Man.
welcome to join, bro.
Oh
By the
yeah,
way,
thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I also want to say this too. Yeah, I agree with most of the comments from all these critics saying, "Oh, you'll be amazed by all the special effects, martial arts." Yeah, if you've never seen a martial arts movie ever, like I mean, it's just here's the thing. Like you said, there are better films out there that these movies are taking inspiration from. You know what I mean? And so for me, like I said, that the only good fight scene in this movie was that one fight scene. I don't. Everyone is like losing their minds over the bus scene, and I'm like, are you guys watching the same movie that I did? Because I'm like, that wasn't that great. Like, it really wasn't, you know?
oh, it
And
was good. I
yeah,
enjoyed that. I mean, I'm not saying it was the best martial arts fights. I mean, you've got Jackie Chan, you've got
right, yeah.
like incredible scenes like Tony Jaa. Like
Hmm.
this is incredible martial arts movies down the line. I
Right,
mean, like fuck. I mean,
exactly.
I'd even throw Old Boy in there. Like some of the fight scenes in that. Like, but yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, I don't want to give like my final score or anything like that, but I'll just say like um, there was aspects of it that just felt too marvelly, too MCU-ish, and it was, and the sad thing about it, I think the Asian cultural and both the Asian culture and the Asian influence of the movie was the best parts of the movie,
Right? Yeah.
and the MCU influence was the worst parts.
You know what, man?
Do you
I'm
get
gonna
what
say
I'm saying?
yes,
Like that
absolutely.
was the most interesting thing. I wish they had have leaned more into. And someone's going to call me crazy for saying this, but I think they should have leaned more into the Asian influence in terms of Asian movies, like
Hmm.
the influence they were taking from Asian movies and the influence they were taking from Asian culture, and just
Yeah.
dropped the MCU thing and just made it like a cool kung fu Asian movie homage, like
Yeah.
that explored the roots of and mythology of Asian culture. So that was the best bits.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you know what? I want to so say this one last thing. It's like the Marvel formula is well known by now. You know what I mean? We're 13 years into this thing. You know what I mean? And obviously, it's not slowing down. It's only going to get bigger and all that stuff. While unfortunately, DC continues to sort of struggle on life support, basically. Um,
Mm.
even though this has been said, like it had a promising beginning. You know what I mean? Here's the
And
thing,
they were
Nerdman.
going
I
to
just
do the Atom movie as well, right? Which was going to be an Asian movie, which wasn't a martial arts movie, funnily
no,
enough, which would have been cool, right? Like
right.
get away from the stereotypes.
Never mind. I want to ask you this one last thing. Just one more question, man.
Mhm.
There have been rumors. I've heard just rumors of Kevin Feige wanting to hire Zack Snyder for a Ghost Rider movie. What would you say to that?
I think it'll make a lot of money. I don't know how good it will be, especially if he's
Yeah,
given free reign or something. But if he's given a good writer by Kevin Feige, that mean Kevin Feige molding and keeping Zack Snyder under control. That's good stuff because you know that's what DC needed to do. They had a wild horse, on
yeah,
the ranch, and they needed to, it was a beautiful horse, capable of doing great like things, but it needed fucking, taming essentially, and that's what I've always seen Zack Snyder as. It's a wild horse that needs taming, and I think Kevin Feige is the kind of guy who could do that and
yeah,
get a really cool visual movie out of him and take up while dealing with some of his worst impulses that have led to his criticisms,
yeah,
which
yeah.
are fair
Absolutely.
criticisms. That no lie, they are fair fucking criticisms. But you're right. I do have to jump out of here
Oh
and
yeah, no
start my
problem, dude.
stream.
No problem. Yeah, I will
But
check it out later too, man. All right,
yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
check out his channel if you haven't already. I'll put the link in the description of this video. But Nerdman, you're always welcome to come on. Thanks a lot, bro. It was a lot of fun, man. I'll see you later.
See you later,
All right,
dude. Hi. How
buddy.
you doing?
Mocha, yeah. Mocha, check out his channel. You really like it a lot. All right. So everybody, yeah. So that was Nerdman. Like I said, I'll put the video description. I'll put it in the in this channel. But yeah. So everyone watching again, I'm probably gonna hop off in a bit, but I just want to say again, this channel, this is the first stream that I'm doing since I've been monetized. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been perfect. Some bridges have been burned. Some mistakes have been made. But all that stuff, I don't think in general that this channel is a waste of time. I think I'm enjoying this channel a lot. It's introduced me to a lot of other content creators such as Nerdman and all the other stuff. On that note, I also want to add that I will be also doing another review of Shang-Chi on a different channel. So when that video is up, I will check it out. I will be sure to share the link with y'all. And so, yeah, guys. I mean, this is also a good time. So, talk about the topic of burning bridges and stuff. I guess I'm not going to disclose everything that happened, but it revolved around the short film that I was recently still trying to finish. And I just, I won't say much, but I want to say this. Um, and I listen. Okay, I know that my approach to filmmaking can be kind of polarizing and divisive. I mean, I think in general I can be kind of a polarizing, divisive person. I'm not one to hold my opinions back. I'm not one to really take a whole lot of crap from people. I have, you know what I mean. I'm not a human doormat, but I have. I've bitten my tongue and I've just gotten things done when I had to. But in the case of this latest short film that I was doing, I just really couldn't take it anymore. And I basically just, for lack of a better word, kind of stood up for myself, and it's not something that I'm used to doing in short films, especially for this channel. I've only made 3 so far, and I've got a couple more in production. I'm hoping, praying that those go smoothly, but no, but I just want to say that no matter what happens going forward, I don't regret doing what I did or whatever will happen in the future. I don't regret it because I've learned that you should stand up for yourself. Sometimes you have to burn bridges. Sometimes you have to say things that might, ruin relationships or working relationships or whatever, might turn people off, and all that stuff. I understand it. As I've gotten older, I've realized the importance of not burning bridges, but I've also realized, okay, I've also realized the importance of standing up for yourself when you have to. And so, to that, I will say I will never apologize for that unless I, in the back of my heart, know, or in the back of my head, know that I have to apologize. But for the most part, no, I'm not gonna apologize. I'm not, man. I come from a family of very stubborn people. It's gonna take a lot to get an apology from me. I've done it before. I think I've done it on this channel too. But if I have, then I immediately take it back because I'm not gonna say sorry ever. But anyway, on a more positive note, I will be finishing that short film up. Like I said, probably using different people, and not necessarily, in the traditional way of, blocking for camera and staging a scene, but rather sort of through, I'll set it up as like a Zoom call or something like that, and we'll just have actors, read those scenes together or whatever. But I just want to say that you guys watching right now are a big reason why I do this channel, because you enjoy these short films so much, that you all like the content that I create and upload, and I will continue to do it for you guys. Okay, I will continue to do it for you. Yes, I come from a film and TV background, but I also sort of putting all the forces, elements together. I want to say that, I will continue to enjoy it because that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy, making short films. And I also enjoy doing it for an audience, and that audience is obviously all of you. So, I will ask you that no matter what happens in the future, you continue to support by watching and commenting and liking and subscribing, all this stuff, and just in general, just enjoying the content that I produce and stuff like that. I will continue to do it for you. I will continue to do it for you. So let's go with that. Let's go with that. That's more positive sounding, right? Yeah, let's go with that. Anyway, guys. All right, cool. Well, by the way, I'm still technically just quote unquote homeless or whatever. Still living in my car. So and the place that I'm in is going to close pretty soon in about 5 minutes or so. So I got to leave. But I do want to say that all is well with me in general. I am okay. I'm actually not on the East Coast for the people who have been asking about. I know I put NYU, but I'm not there. I'm not on the East Coast, so I'm fine. And but I thank you for your concern, and I hope that all of you are also staying safe. Just in general, it's a very tumultuous time to be alive right now. There's a lot of things at play. The elements are not in our favor. But I do want to say, stay safe. Um, do what you got to do. And, I hope you have a good weekend. Check out the films. Check out Shang-Chi and Candyman. Both are in theaters right now, so go check them out. If you feel comfortable doing so. If not, then don't. But if you feel comfortable doing it, then go check it out because they're both good movies, and I feel like everyone here would enjoy it. I think they're that good. Okay. So anyway, that being said, I'm gonna hop off because I gotta go. But this has been the first live stream since we've been monetized, and I keep saying that. Sorry, it's a new feeling. You know what I mean? I'm new to the whole YouTube thing, so it's kind of cool, kind of taking it all in. But I appreciate everyone for watching. Thank you for Mocha Mommy for the $2 donation. I appreciate that. Thank you to Nerdman for dropping in. And like I said, guys, tune in because there's more content on the way. And so, if y'all are willing to stick with me on this crazy ass journey that I've started, let's continue together, and I will continue to produce stuff for you. So, alrighty? All right, guys. Well, stay safe, stay happy, and I will see you guys later. Bye.